all the tech layoffs in the news, you might be wondering, is it even worth starting a career in tech or cybersecurity? Well, don't give up just yet. There are thousands of killer cybersecurity and tech jobs out there that you probably didn't even know existed. As a matter of fact, more than 7,500 postings are currently out there. In this video, I'll show you what they are and how to find them. Before we jump in, let me quickly introduce myself. I'm JR and I've spent over 15 years in the government healthcare industry, with more than 6 of those years focused on health IT. I've grinded in the first line of IT and have made my way up to build and lead successful teams. I'm a life learner, especially in this field that is always changing. My goal is to pay forward what I've learned throughout the years. Now enough about me. Today I will cover the following. What are these jobs that I'm talking about? How to look and where to search for these jobs, which are some of the top employers, and I'll have a special bonus, some tips when applying for these jobs, so stay to the end. And because I know your time is valuable, I've added chapters at the bottom so you can easily navigate through the video. Now let's just jump to it. What are these jobs? These are government jobs, and you're probably thinking, well, there goes my excitement, but hold on. I know the word government can be scary and often associated with the military, politics, or the famous 3-letter agencies. And yes, some jobs are in these areas, but let me tell you that there's so much more. There are jobs with the states, as well the federal government in healthcare, law enforcement, the judicial system, and even the energy department, just to name a few. Now, for those that got excited when I said 3-letter agency, yes, there are also ways to find these jobs with what I will teach you here. Normally, these jobs fall into one of these categories: civilian, federal, contractor, or active duty. Let me explain. A civilian federal employee, according to this Google AI thing, is a non-elected, non-military public sector employee who works for the United States federal government, departments, and agencies. So they're not active duty military or work for legislation or intelligence community or postal service. I think they gave me the version of the Department of Defense or DoD federal civilian, so not entirely accurate, as US Postal Service are considered federal employees, but I think you kind of get the gist of it. Now, if you want more info on this, go to opm.gov. There you can find all kinds of information, type of jobs, salaries, compensation packages, as well as retirements. Now, the other one I mentioned is a contractor. These are jobs that satisfy a requirement for a government position. Confused? Okay, the best way to explain this is, I am in the government and I need someone to do help desk support for my agency. I don't want to hire a federal employee because he's too expensive, due to the retirement, compensation packages, and dealing with all the HR nonsense. I will draft my requirement, statement of work, how much the contract is for this position, and then put it out there for companies to bid for the contract. Then these companies are in charge of looking for candidates, onboarding them, providing benefits, and in essence take all the risk for the government. So if you're in this position, you will work for, let's say, Leidos, a big company with government contracts, but your actual job will be on a government healthcare facility, satisfying the requirement for a help desk technician. I hope that makes sense. The last one is active duty military. This one is pretty much either enlisted in the military or commissioning for any branch that has these technical jobs. Most of them are in the Air Force and Space Force, but the other branches have them too. To get details on these positions, just visit either their respective website or your nearest recruiter office. Now that we cover what are these jobs and the different categories, let's talk about where to search for them. How to look, where to search for these jobs. So there are specific magical or keywords, whatever you want to call it, that are associated with most of these jobs in order to find them online. You probably have seen some of these before, but might not know what they are or what they mean. Now, before we continue, if you like this type of content, let me know before by hitting the like button. And if you find value on any of this, just consider to subscribe. It will definitely mean a lot to me. Now, these key terms are IAT, 8140 or 8570, and those kind of are tied together, and I'll explain in a minute. 2210 and secret clearance. There are definitely more, and there's some variations that containing these terms that will take you to these jobs, so just stick around and let me show you what I mean. Okay, so here we are on linkedin.com, and let me explain what I was telling you. Let's try with the first term, which is IAT. Let's do level 2, which I was saying that there's some variations, and since I searched it before, you'll see right there, there's 1,125 results. Of course, this is kind of like, right now it's being a little bit tailored to my my credentials, and probably some of the stuff that I want to do. But as you can see here, we get University of Texas in Austin for a senior IT manager. There's information system security manager. The CDC, that's the government, right? There's clearance jobs, right? And I'm going to talk a little bit about clearance jobs, but like here, these are some of the jobs that you can see. I know that I told you I was going to explain what these are, so let's just me show you real quick. So IAT levels is attached or is related to the DoD 8140 framework right here. So it used to be called the DoD 8570, and it became the 8140, but it's pretty much what it determines what the government is looking to hire these jobs. Like as you see here, you got IAT levels 1 through 3, and you got IAM levels. So IAT is information, I think it's information assurance technical, and then IAM, I think it's information assurance management, if I'm not mistaken. In short, it explains to you what level of certifications are kind of like the baseline for these positions. So hint, you can go on LinkedIn and you can look for IAT level 1 or IAM level 2. You can just look for these keywords, right? I hope that makes sense, but in essence, those 8140, 8570, and IAT is based on the same thing. These are keywords to help you with your search. So let's go back to LinkedIn and let's just do 8140, 8570. Let's just do that and see. So right there, 902 results. Okay, so you have a lot of different jobs with different pay ranges. And let me see, there's some that don't pay that much. But so this one right here, wow, that's a good salary right here. You can definitely look and see if it aligns with your values, your experience, and everything that you have, and go from there. But let's just let me keep showing you, right? So let's go to USA jobs, and in USA jobs, let's just search for 2210. Now, as you see, the 2210 is a government job for information technology management. So that's the keyword for that. So if you look for 2210, as you see here, there's 517 jobs or listings, and you can see that for this, I think you have to sign in order to see more specific information. But in essence, you can work for the Army, but just like as a government employee. Salaries are right here. Some of these salaries, I mean, it can vary. It depends on the job. It might be, a help desk technician, or it depends. So when you look at this, you might think it's low, in salaries, but these are federal jobs, and they have compensation packages as well, retirement and other things. Of course, this is just a range. It doesn't say what it's going to be. Like, you have to go through the whole process in order to see how much you're going to be paid. Like this one, working as an IT specialist for Naval Education and Training Command. It's a GS-11, and you can search the GS pay scale online. Again, the pay scale only reflects the basic salary, not compensation packages and everything else like that. Yeah, there's different, as a civilian, the Air Force, cybersecurity officer, data engineer, data lifecycle specialist with the CIA, right? I mentioned earlier about the three-letter agencies. So this is how you find these jobs. Now, another very cool keyword that I did not include it was InfoSec. You can also search for InfoSec. So if you do, let's say InfoSec. It kind of narrows down a little bit. 224 jobs. It's still under the 2210. That's just the job series. But you can start seeing here a little bit bigger paychecks, salaries, I should say. And that's still not including compensation packages, right? So that's pretty cool. And I think you can search there too. So The other term that I did not mention yet is just having a security clearance, right? So having a security clearance. So this is clearancejobs.com. If you type here, let's see here. If you type secrets, actually let's do info sec and see. 2,537 jobs. System administrator or system administrator senior, VMware. It says you need to have a top secret with special or compartmentalized information. I think it is. Now, GDIT, these are some of the big companies that hire. Let's see. Man, a lot of GDIT careers with this term. But security engineer 3. So GDIT, General Dynamics Information Technology, that's what it is. Now, some of these jobs, you'll see top secret, TSSCI, secret. So I'm gonna cover with you a little bit later how to get a security clearance. And also I'm gonna teach you I'm gonna tell you what are the jobs that you need to kind of look for. IAT level 2. So most of these jobs, these are not government jobs. These are contract jobs. So working for General Dynamics, also other companies. So if we let's go to Indeed real quick and do secret. I can't spell, sorry. Oh God, right here, secret clearance. I can't spell for nothing. So now you go here and you can see database engineer with secret clearance working with DLH. You can see Northrop Grumman. So I'm not sure if you're paying attention for these job posts, but they kind of bleed into the next topic, which is the top employers. So who are hiring for this job? So like I showed you, Northrop Grumman, right? There's also GDIT. If you go here and let's just say in LinkedIn, secret clearance, getting better at spelling. So we got Homeland Security, but that's with the government. So, but over here we got Booz Allen Hamilton, Information System Security Officer, and there's other companies like Raytheon and other big government companies. GDIT, you will see GDIT here again. And DICE is another company that has contract. Leidos is another one. Raytheon right here, right? So these are the big or the top employers that are hiring for this kind of jobs. Okay, so I hope all that makes sense. So my last point is the special bonus that I said at the beginning. But before we get there, what questions do you have? Let me know in the comments below. I promise that I will try my best to answer. And if I don't know it, I will point you to the right direction or the right resource. Now, tips on when applying for these jobs. The first one will be certs and education. Make sure you have the necessary certifications and education that meets the job requirement. Look at the listing well and ensure that you're qualified for the job. These government jobs are very competitive, and as someone who has hired federal employees as well as contractors, we pay close attention to these areas. If we don't see the credentials that we're looking for, you won't even make it to the interview. Furthermore, some government jobs will run your resume through an algorithm, and your resume won't even get to the hiring authority, so just try to be smart about it. Number 2, having a security clearance. So we talk about having a security clearance, and I show you some of these jobs with security clearances. So many government jobs require security clearances. Okay, we know that. So learn how to obtain one and what to expect during the process. Now there's a lot of criteria for that, like you have to be a US citizen, and pretty much, you kind of have to be like a stand-up citizen. So there's a criteria for that, but it's not impossible. I can say that this can be challenging, but let me tell you this. Some jobs actually state in their requirements be able to obtain a security clearance. Now, those are the ones that you need if you don't have one. That means that a company will do the clearance process for you and hire you. Sometimes they might come with less pay, maybe, I'm not sure, but in essence, if they pay for it, man, just stick around and try to get that opportunity, because your clearance, if it's a secret clearance, is 10 years. If it's a top secret, I think it's 5. That's the time frame that they last. Another option that you have is joining the military for a few years. All military members have to have a clearance, and they will do everything for you. Like I mentioned earlier, you can learn more by visiting your closest recruiter or going to their websites. Now, the last one might be a doozy, having a good resume. So yeah, JR, duh. But hear me out. Tailoring your resume to the listing is a game changer, especially when the algorithm is looking to pair the position listing with a candidate. As a matter of fact, I would say that this is a top priority, or the most important of all these tips. Recently, one of my good friends, Pedro, retired from the Air Force after 20 years of service. He has plenty of experience in the field, and after applying for a few hundred jobs, he found himself not getting even a call for these jobs. Imagine that a veteran with 20 years of service could not even get a phone call. Now, this is what he said to me, and I quote, "Tailoring your resume to the position that you are applying is a must if you want to stand out among other candidates. This is a lot of work, but finally, after applying this technique, I've been getting calls," end quote. So let me add this to that. When you do this, ensure you highlight your relevant skills and experiences to further stand out from the pack. Make sure that it matches the listing. Make it concise. I personally don't like reading pages and pages of resumes, so just trying to make it concise. And like my friend Pedro said, it takes a lot of work, but using tools like ChatGPT can help you save a lot of time. So just be smart about it and see how you can do this the best way and more efficient way that works for you. So got it? Make sure that it matches the listing. Highlight your relevant skills. Keep it short and use ChatGPT to help you cut time in tailoring your resume. So don't give up. There's a tons of resources out there. A good one here on YouTube is Josh Madakor. He has a lot of insights and an employability framework, I think it's called, that can help you prepare for an interview. I will leave his channel in the description of the video. Now, if you want to learn how to start in IT, check this video out, subscribe, and stay tuned for more. Remember, the opportunities are out there. You just need to know where to look and how to prepare. JR out.